Hi guys, welcome back to Everything Home with Renee. I'm so glad you could join me today, and I really think you're going to love this DIY that we're going to do today. If you haven't been to my channel and this is the first time, welcome, and I hope you decide to like my channel, and if you do, please subscribe. Definitely give me a thumbs up, or if you don't like it, a thumbs down is fine. But share with your family, friends, and click the notification bell if you do like my channel. That way you'll know each time I upload a video. I love to do DIYs on a budget or from things that you find at home or from the thrift store. So with that being said, today's DIY is going to be helping me decorate my kitchen window in front of my sink. We're actually going to paint a scene onto the window with just some Christmas snow. Yes, just some simple Christmas spray snow. We are going to actually paint a winter scene. And then I'm going to take a little sleigh that I had, and we're going to turn it into Santa's sleigh with his 8 tiny reindeer. And I can even make it look as if the reindeer are coming up into the air, off of the ground, getting ready to take off for their flight for Christmas night. So I really hope you stick around to the end. At the end, I will show you some pictures of what the whole scene looks like put together. And at night, it's absolutely fantastic. The window scene painted on at night is just, I can't even describe it. The camera doesn't even show how pretty it is. So I hope you stick around, thumbs up, like my channel and subscribe. And I sure do hope that you get the biggest kick out of this. And I hope you create some kind of scene like this on your own. Even if it's just getting an idea of how to paint a picture in the Christmas snow in your window. Makes such a cool look for Christmas. So with that being said, let's plug in the hot glue guns, put on our working clothes, and get busy crafting up our Santa and his 8 tiny reindeer. And this is going out the day before Thanksgiving, so I have to tell everyone, I hope you have a fantastic and blessed Thanksgiving. Hug your family, hug your friends, and let's all just be grateful for a brand new day. Thanks, guys. All right, y'all. I wanted to show you how I managed to do the window first. Actually, this was actually done on accident. It wasn't pre-planned. I was just going to frost my window with the canned snow that you can pick up from any store. And I accidentally smeared some, and I thought, wow, that looks kind of neat. I wonder. So I took my brush, and I just made it barely damp. I mean, it was just barely damp. And I just started running through the snow with the tip of my brush, very light strokes. And as I did, where it would take off the snow and push it around, I realized I can make a scene with this. So I just did some simple little pine trees in the background, some, Bob Ross pretty little mountains, a little fence in front, and I just did it by doing simple little tiny light strokes with the brush, and I would wipe the brush off very frequently because it would get gummed up with snow. But every stroke or two that I did, I would wipe it off on a paper towel and then just go back through, and where I wanted more snow off, take more off. Where I just wanted it light, I would take just a little bit off. And as you can see, it just made such a pretty effect. And this was during the daylight when I did this. And when I got done that evening and it started getting dark, my husband looked over at it and said, oh my gosh, look how pretty that looks with the black shining behind it from it being dark at night. Just such a cool effect. And I mean, I thought you could do this with any window, not some people don't like putting that snow on their window. That's fine. You got to wash your window afterwards. But for me, this was such a gorgeous effect. And my kitchen window above my sink is not the greatest window in our home. It's hard to clean. It kind of stays foggy. So by spraying the snow on and painting this scene through the snow, it just gave it such a neat effect. And I was just sure by the time I got done that Santa's sleigh is going to look absolutely fantastic in front of this scene. So hopefully you like this and it gives you an idea on how to maybe decorate a couple windows. Comment and let me know. Let me know what you think of it. To start our project off, I took this little wooden sleigh that I had gotten from a discount store for a couple of dollars here in our town, and I painted it with acrylic paints. I painted the inside red and the outside white and the runners black. I used 2 coats of paint, and the only thing I did different was after I painted the runners black, I added some silver glitter to them so that it would give the sleigh a bit of sparkle. I wanted to make the appearance of a seat inside my sleigh, so I knew I would need to make the back of the seat. And to do this, I simply cut a piece of cardboard the width of the sleigh, and I took some fuzzy material that I had and rolled it up on one end to create the image of a headrest, and then I hot glued the cardboard to the material and made sure all of the corners were attached down. And I cut out another piece of fuzzy material and I hot glued that to the front so that the whole seat back was covered in furry material. Rolling the top edge of the material really did give a nice appearance to a headrest, and it worked out really well. Once I had completed that, my sleigh was dry enough to move on to the next step. So here I wanted to make the sleigh look a bit rustic and distressed, especially around the edges. So I just took a very dry brush with a little bit of black acrylic paint and just very lightly put black around the edges of the sleigh and around where the slats of the boards appeared to be, so that it would enhance them a bit more and make the wood look more authentic, as if it were made of slats of wood. It doesn't take much paint to do this, but you definitely want to accent your edges the most. Once I had the distressing completed, I wanted to move on to the back of the seat. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit of a cold. I slid the seat back into the sleigh, placed it where I wanted it, and just added some hot glue to either side so that it would be secured well. And here comes my little Santa. I did pick him up from a Dollar General store, and for $3 I thought he was fantastic. He was very detailed and very cute. I wanted Santa to look like in the end that he was sitting in the sleigh, not standing, so I cut another piece of cardboard for the seat, and I just cut out a U shape, and that will fit around Santa's legs. And when I secure the seat in, not only will it hold him in place, but it will give the appearance of the seat of the sleigh. and it fit perfectly. I liked how this, once hot glued in place, made it look as if there were a seat, but also secured Santa so he wouldn't go anywhere. I added a little dab of hot glue on the back just to keep Santa in place for sure. I don't want him flying out when the reindeer take off. And then I was trying to think how I could make it appear as if Santa still had legs. I didn't want him to look like they were chopped off. So I took this Dollar Tree scarf that I had picked up and I cut the fringes down to size. And I just simply cut a little section off to make it about as long as a blanket would be. And then once I had that cut, I tucked the end without fringes down into the bottom of the sleigh. Folded it up and wrapped it around Santa. Pillowed it out a bit. And once you fluff and pillow that blanket, voila, it looks just like Santa has legs, and he's just simply keeping warm while he's riding in his sleigh for his nightly visits. Now I didn't keep the blanket there at this point because there was still more I had to do to the sleigh. I was just simply looking to make sure that my idea would work. I then took the same scarf material and I cut out a bag for Santa. I cut the top part a bit narrower for the opening, and then I simply hot glued all of my sides together except for the top. I wanted that to be open because once I had turned the bag inside out, you'll see that I used some old pillow stuffing to stuff the bag and make it fluffy and full. And that's a great tip, guys. If you have an old pillow that you're not going to use anymore and the stuffing is good, just save the stuffing and put it in a bag and keep it for your crafts. It's a lot cheaper than going out and buying new stuffing. Once Santa's bag is fully stuffed, it's ready to stick in the back of the sleigh, and it fits just perfect. But I don't want that stuffing to show at the top, so I have this little bag of Christmas presents and candy canes that my sweet, sweet sister from another mother had sent to me. And bless her, she's always sending me wonderful things that she doesn't have a need for anymore because she knows I craft and create. And these little presents and candy canes turned out perfectly. I just cut the gold ribbon off and replaced it with some jute twine so that it would look a bit more rustic. I did the same thing on the candy canes and tied a little bow and just added a few little berries around the bow. And then I secured the candy canes and the presents to the top of Santa's package with some hot glue. And it really looked like Santa's bag was just filled to the brim with toys and goodies for all the girls and boys on Christmas Eve. I thought these little candy canes were just so cute. Save your old Christmas decorations too, or if other people are getting rid of some, ask if you can have them instead of them being thrown away. You never know what you can use them for. I also had a few of these tiny little miniature wreaths that were sent along with the packages and the candy canes, and I thought how perfect would those look attached to Santa's sleigh. Even Santa needs some bling. Now I'm showing you this floral wire that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I love this wire because it's very sturdy, but it's very, very pliable and flexible, easy to work with. And I'm going to use that with these little reindeer. I had these little reindeer that I'd gotten from the Dollar Tree last year, and I'd used them on a tree. But this year, I am going to take these reindeer and I am going to turn them into Santa's little helpers. I did this by applying acrylic paint all over the body of the deer, and I used 2 coats to get good coverage with a sponge brush and just patted it on so it would get in all the cracks and crevices. And then I did the same process, but I used brown acrylic paint for the antlers. This made the deer turn out rustic and very cute. I had some silver ribbon that had beading along the edge, and I wanted to use this for the reindeer's reins, so I simply cut the beading off and got 2 strands about as long as I thought I would need them. And then the silver part of the ribbon, I was able to cut strips to decorate the reindeer's harness. I cut the silver strips a little bit narrower, then pieces of black ribbon, and I attached the black ribbon first. And then in the center of the black ribbon, I attached the silver. And I thought these made just adorable little harnesses. I went one step further and I took a fine Sharpie marker, and in the center of each silver ribbon, I simply wrote the names of the 8 tiny reindeer. And you can't see them very well on film, but in real life, you can see all the names perfectly. Now I needed to make something for the reindeer's harness to attach to the sleigh. So I took and cut a moon-shaped wedge of floral foam, and I glued that to the inside and to the bottom of the sleigh. Then I went to the floral wire and I just cut a piece that I thought would be long enough for the harness. Now the part of the wire that's going to attach to the sleigh, all I did was bent it down into a U-shaped hook so that I could simply push it down into the floral wire, and it would help my deer stand up and serve as the harness reins for them. The hardest part about doing this, honestly, was placing my reindeer on the harness or on the reins so that their names matched where they were supposed to be. You know, we want Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, and I can't tell you how many times I said that to myself while I was doing this. So I had to do a little bit of thinking for that part. I also had to think about how I was going to attach the deer. I was afraid that if I simply hot glued them to the wire, that it wouldn't hold and they wouldn't stay attached. So I came up with the idea to cut tiny little pieces of the silver ribbon, hot glue the wire onto the deer, and then place the ribbon over top of the wire. That way, the hot glue was not only attached to the wire, but it was also attached to the ribbon, and it would make a much stronger anchor and the deer would stay secure. I hope that makes sense. And here I am thinking about, okay, who goes where? Dasher, where do you go? Dancer, where do you go? And so on. I'm just getting a general idea of where the wire is going to need placed before I attach it securely. And once again, I attached it by cutting small strips of the silver ribbon, putting hot glue on it, and wrapping it over top of the wire. Try to space your reindeer as evenly as you can. Once your reindeer are attached, you add your silver beads around the reindeer's necks, booties, and hot glue right along the edge of the wire so that it covers up the floral wire. This worked great. And at the left hand of the screen, you'll see that I bent that floral wire down into a U, like I said, and all that is left is to push that little piece of wire down into the styrofoam in the sleigh, and that will hold my deer secure. Put Santa's blanket over top, wrap the reins around his hands, and off we go. And here's the Christmas window at night. So pretty. And Santa's front reindeer, I was even able to bend that up so it looks like they're taking off in flight. I hope you love this DIY, guys, and I hope it inspired you. Until next time, bye.